Oh, this is so awkward. Oh, Lord. Hi, world. My name is Fernando. I've been doing video vlogging for almost 1.5 years now. I'm a little scared to go forward with video vlogging, but it's something that I have to get past, but I know it's something that I'm destined to do at this moment in time. I want to help people. I want to help people, just your ordinary day people. I want to help people. Anyone, if I can. And I also want to help unordinary people, irregular people like me. So they could help people, and I want to teach them to pass the torch. This might be a little bit weird. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I'm in my car. I just compelled to take this video real fast. I probably may not use it, but I've been meaning to video vlog and re-kick-start my video journey because I've put it on hold. And reasons why I've put it on hold is because mainly I've had to work on a lot of my growth and mental stability because I've been going through a lot. I've been kind of going through a lot that it's taken a toll on me, that it's really dimmed down my spirit, my light, my person, my being. I've been having a lot of family problems lately. Unfortunately, I mean, I've caught it in videos, of course, in the process of some of the situations and scenarios which people will see for themselves. And I will help people understand why I had to stop video vlogging, because I inspired a lot of people during the process. And mainly what I wanted to do originally was actually start video vlogging, just segments of videos or portions, so I could actually pick out, you know, people who would be interested in something similar to this, or somebody who just thinks it's fascinating, who would think it's a great idea, or just for entertainment, you know. Maybe it'll subconsciously help someone to brighten up their day or do something to pay it forward. And that's what I was looking for. That's my main focus in this. But from the beginning, the origin of this, I originally started video vlogging because I was trying to depict for myself what I was going through. I was trying to help myself understand what I was going through. I went through a spiritual awakening, and with my spiritual awakening, it's something that's similar that everyone goes through. Every single person, entire individual on this planet, they go through a certain spiritual awakening, and some people just develop differently, or people just spiral way out of control and lose themselves in life in general. But it's technically a spiritual awakening. You know, most people just call it life. Well, we're all going through this spiritual awakening, and call it consciousness if you want, and we're all evolving differently. Some, you know, are smarter than others, and some are not. You know, very questionable people in life. You know, look around you. You know, look at thy neighbor and love thy neighbor. We are very questionable people. I know I once was. Very questionable. You know, why do we do certain things? Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. You have to have a lot of patience in life. And so what really drove me to video vlog was I was actually depicting my life. I don't think I'm saying that right, but I was actually documenting my life. I didn't understand how I felt. I didn't understand all these new senses were kicking in inside of me. My brain was hyper, I don't know the word. My brain was very hyper, and it was thinking very fast, and it came to the point where it started to come to a crashing halt where I couldn't think, and I'd be kind of like stuck, you know, just kind of like stuck, and maybe like a little how do you say, a stuck state where it almost felt like a depressive state, but it was just because I was overwhelmed with feelings. I would be able to this sounds bad. I would be able to feel what other people were feeling, and I was able to see things about other people and see what it described, you know, their feelings and thoughts. I'd be able to talk to them, and I'd be able to depict what they were thinking or feeling. I'm gonna have to scratch some of this. So I originally started video vlogging because I was kind of trying to document what I was going through. I had a lot of over excessive feelings and thoughts that were very overwhelming, and a lot were manic, to the point where it felt like I was having a lot of manic episodes, but I was absorbing so much knowledge and at one time that my brain was so flustered and overwhelmed with all this, like, the knowledge I was consuming and sponging in, which was about myself and other people, my surroundings, my environments, and old thoughts that I once had. And so as I went through this spiritual awakening, I also went through a spiritual death, which is called the ego death. And the reason why all these overwhelming feelings come about and they arise is because we're not only replacing these feelings, we're actually killing these feelings of who we thought we were. And so in a spiritual awakening, the majority of the time, or I would say that, you know, to actually go through a real spiritual awakening, you have to go through a spiritual death. And that's because you're basically killing your human body, your human ego in its form of reality, and coming to forth with the body and spiritual spirit of consciousness. Sounds kind of complicated, unless you're going through something or developing, you know, sensitivity, sensitive wise, you know, physically sensitive. Like if you're physically sensitive, when people, you know, say or do things, actions, you could feel sensitivity. You know, some people are really sensitive. A lot of children are sensitive too. So you could think about it in that sense, that if you're overwhelmingly sensitive, it's similar to that, where your brain is just overwhelmingly sensitive, that you're actually killing your past thoughts, your past self. The way that you thought before was very numb and desensitized, but now you're starting to feel, so you're killing that past idea of who you were, if that makes sense to you. I hope I explained that very well. And so I had to go through an ego death. And the part about this is there's spirituality and spiritual awakenings, but I actually have an attachment to my spiritual awakening. I am a twin flame. For those of you that do not know what a twin flame is, a twin flame is basically, it's similar to a soulmate, far from a karmic. Karmics are basically people that we have in our everyday lives that we have soul ties connected to, and it's kind of like a lot of karma that you're supposed to release and let go to bring forth to this true person that you're supposed to be. So all of our ex-friends, ex-relationships, even our children, all of these people who we love, of course, dearly, we're supposed to love everyone equally. We have a lot of soul ties connected to people, where we're supposed to go through these karmatic experiences and absorb, observe, and learn lessons from them to grow to better human beings and people. And that goes with anyone, your mother, your brothers, your sisters. You're supposed to learn the lessons that you have solely connected to them, so you could develop better, to be a better human being, like me. I was kidding, but to be a better human being. And you basically, it's like when you go through these things, it's like a conscious download as you're going through it, and your intuition kicks in. You're like, I knew that was going to happen. I knew this person was going to do that to me, but you don't want to believe it because your ego is like, it's not going to happen. But intuitively you knew. And so, say for instance, you get a tingle with somebody, you know, a lot of the times when you get tingles with people, it's a soul tie. You know, your family members, when something's happening, you're like, you got your intuition kicking. It's a lot of the times when that's when you have a feeling of sensitivity, it's because there's some type of soul tie connected to it, that you're supposed to learn some karmatic lesson, which goes with everything. So it gets really technical with that. With soulmates though, you're supposed to have blissful harmony within that moment of being with your with your significant other, whether it be female or male, because with counterparts, whether it be male or female, it doesn't matter depending on gender, because your soul, your love, it's actually a male or a female energy, regardless of whether you're male or female. It's a female or male energy, which is masculine or feminine. And say for instance, like me myself, I'm a feminine. So I'm a feminine energy in a male body, and my twin flame is a masculine energy in a female body. And that doesn't mean that we're completely dedicated to those energies, that means I could switch to a masculine energy at any time if I choose to, if you work to that. But my dominant prime energy is actually a counterpart of my counterpart. So she's masculine, I'm feminine, and the only way it would switch if I were to go to dominant masculine energy, she would actually go to a feminine energy, which we've switched off multiple times throughout our lifetimes. So a lot of times while I was dominant masculinity, she was dominant and feminine. She was dominant and feminine, I went to masculinity. Right now, she's dominating masculinity and I'm dominating feminine. I don't know how I know this shit, I just know this shit. Probably not gonna use this, but who knows. Anyways, so I'm a twin flame. And so from learning that I was a twin flame, it all came in synchronicities. It all came in serendipities. Serendipities and synchronicities are basically kind of like something that's happening that's ironic, that's not supposed to happen, but it's happening. That you're like seeing a double cat in the Matrix. You know, have you ever seen the movie The Matrix and you're like, oh, I just seen a cat, you know? And it's a deja vu. It's similar to that. You're gonna see a lot of synchronicities and you're gonna see a lot of serendipities. Serendipity is more of a word of kind of like, it's ironic that something's happening because you know that it was supposed to happen, but then it happened, or it's not supposed to happen, but then it happened. Really confusing, right? Anyways, so I found out that the hard way that I was actually a twin flame. And it's actually weird because I actually started seeing a lot of signs and synchronicities around me. I actually started seeing numbers and I started expressing and feeling feelings that I never felt before. It was really, really weird for me because I was numb. I was really numb to feelings. I always thought with fact. I never really tried to think with feeling. And she's very similar too. She always tried to think with fact, never with feeling. She was very 10 times numb more than me. And I was numb, you know, but not as numb. I was like touching the tip of the iceberg. And wow, was it a slippery slope? I froze to death. I was, oh man, it turned me stone cold for a brief moment that I never want to be again, because it brought me the worst in my life. Then it brought me the best in my life. But yeah, I started seeing synchronicities. I actually expressed it to her that I was actually seeing these synchronicities, which were called angel numbers at the time. I didn't know what they were. But I remember I never would have stayed with her if she was in the room with the number 3, but she was actually in the room number 4. And I was talking to her on the phone. I was explaining to her, I'm seeing all these numbers. I'm scared. And I told her what room. I was in the front and I told her what room number are you in. We were in a hotel in what was it, Bodega Bay, and we were getting a hotel. We were away for the weekend, and she was like, I don't know, I don't remember the room number. And I was like, come outside. I would have left her right there. That's how my ego works, and that's how my superstition, my impulsive superstition idea of, you know, my fear, fight or flight works. If she walked into that room, I would have walked away, and I would never have seen her again. That's how terrified and scared I was, because I knew I was seeing something. And I have experience in supernatural and superstitious stuff throughout my entire life, and so that was one thing that I didn't know. I've never had an experience like that where it was like on demand. I was kind of scared. She walked out of the room number 4, and yeah, happily ever after. So we were cool. I talked about it, you know, and I told her I was scared. You know, she didn't understand it. She was like, okay. You know, she didn't think I was crazy. At least I know. We just left it alone. Whatever. And we just kept going. Well, there were a lot of events that happened in that time being. I might as well explain them and express them now. Maybe I'll probably pull this segment of the video somewhere else to a different video. And so there were a lot of things that happened after that. Like I would get deja vu when I was with her a lot, and it really felt like time would stop. We just be there for a while by ourselves, and we talk about life. And when we talk about life, I just forget about life. You know, I didn't care. I was very happy. I was very humble when I would be with her, and it really felt like time stopped. There were times where I would literally look at the clock and so much time had passed, and it felt like forever. Or sometimes little time would pass and it felt like forever. You know, it literally felt like time stopped, like things stopped existing. The only thing that existed was this person when I was with them, and there was no care in the world. You know, it felt really blissful, and it felt like a feeling that I never felt before, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why I felt that way, so humble with this person. Well, there was one time where we were sitting there and we were from couch to couch. She had 2 couches, a long couch extended and a small couch. I was sitting on the small couch, she was sitting on the extended couch, and I was sitting there talking to her about everything that was going on in my life. And it was a very hard turmoil time. And I'm glad that she was with me during that time, because she gave me a lot of strength in that time, just by being there itself. And now I know why, because she was kind of like the rock in the rock. I'm just glad that she was there in that time, because there was a lot of hard times, and just being around her, the energy felt pure. And so we were sitting there, and another synchronicity that came up somewhere, I just got a whole bunch of downloads in my brain. I was sitting there right in front of her, and it just hit me, and she doesn't know it, but I started having a panic attack. I didn't show it, I didn't express it, but I started having a panic attack. I felt my entire body warm up really, really fast, and I didn't understand why. I went to her house plenty of times to have this type of experience, but it was something that was way different when I experienced this. This was an experience of deja vu that was just way beyond my comprehension of perplexion. It felt like I was literally sitting right in front of her. And it felt like, if I could describe it, it felt like I was going within different dimensions or realities of consciousness. Meaning it felt like I was going through different wave brain patterns of realities of thinking. Like, it literally felt like I had multiple lives at one single time, in one single brain at that one moment. I literally had a panic attack without her knowing it. She didn't know. She just knows that I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because I sat there, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she doesn't know, but I was having a panic attack, and it was like I was having multiple realities at one time inside my consciousness, my brain formed together. And it was like I could see different alternate reality plans of that one base reality that we were currently in. I don't know if someone could really understand this. I could see where our reality was going, or I could see where our reality was, and separate different plans right next to the current conscious plan that we had. And it really tripped me out. I remember I told her, I was like, have you ever noticed that we kind of look alike? And she was like, what? I was like, look at me. Have you ever noticed that we kind of look alike? And she was like, no, I've never really thought about it, but not like, okay. And I was like, our eyes, our nose, I was like, have you ever really thought about it? And I didn't know what the fuck I was saying. I was like, sorry, mind my language. I really didn't know what I was saying. I was just blurting out, because I was scared. She doesn't know it, but I was scared. I had no idea what was processing inside my brain, but it was so overwhelming. And I'm processing these things, and it was like I could see so many different paths that ended with me and her in them. And it was like so many different paths at one time. It was like a puzzle. Imagine me doing like 5 puzzles inside my head at one time, and they all have different paths. Okay, does that make it a little bit more sense? And it all ended and started with her. Wow, that's perfectly put. It all ended and started with her, and I didn't understand it in that point in time. I actually got scared. I was ready to run away. I was ready to leave right then and there. I was ready to call my mom. She didn't know all this, but like deep down inside my head, like that urging child was like, what the fuck is going on? When people get scared and they're like fight or flight, that's how I was. And I told her, I was like, I literally told her, I was like, we better not be second cousins or something. I swear to God, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm never gonna forgive God. Like, I'm never, and like, she's sitting there smirking and smiling, and and I'm like, you see, there you go. Like, there, you look like me. Like, what the fuck, And, well, it turns out, it's because, and I learned this later, because it always boggled me why this person has a lot of similarity traits to me. Nose, eyes, the way they raise their cheek or their eyes twitch. I was, I always think in psychology where, like, our brain, the way it functions is really similar, but this was just like spot on. Like, sometimes I literally felt like I was looking at myself, and then I thought it was weird because it felt like I was dating myself. Like, it's weird because it's actually like I'm seeing myself. And it was weird because it was one of those things when I was seeing this person, it wasn't like it was straightforward, we're seeing each other, we're not, I really only told this person, like, because we were in a whole bunch of different world of mess up between my life and her life, my life more than her life. And I remember I was really angry with her at first, but I mean, I can't really be mad because she did put up with a lot of my stuff. Like, I'm kind of off the wall, and she knows it. Like, I know I've scared her once or twice with the way that I think or process things, and she knows I don't care. Like, when it comes to pushing me past the point, I don't mind falling off the edge or taking someone with me. And so I mean, I know I did scare her a little bit, but she wasn't afraid. She felt safe with me. What I mean is, this person had my back, and she knew that I was a serious person. Like, I'm as serious gets. I'm a man to be reckoned with. But at that time, there was so much going on, and now I know it. There was so much going on. I can't really blame her, because there was so much going on in my life that it started consuming me, and I'm sure it started consuming the people around me, which would then be including her. But she did have my back, and I still even have a picture of, like, me at my worst, where she was right there and she was helping me with some of the paperwork that I was working through. And I just needed help. I just needed a friend, and she was there. And anytime that I would have to call, I called, and I know she would pick up. Anytime that I text, she would always respond. Even if it's late, she would always be there. If I needed money, she was gonna be there. If I needed a place, she was gonna be there. And it was vice versa. If anybody hurt this person, it would hurt me. That's how I felt. And it sucks because in the end, someone did hurt this person. And damn, did it hurt me. And I was so furious. I was so furious that I had to use all of what I am to contain myself, to think rationally, because I was really irrational at that time. And it just sucks. Not sucks. I couldn't put my focus on that person, and they were so distraught with what was going on in their life. I couldn't put my burdens on that person, because I know in some point I probably could have burdened that person with the way that I think. Because knowing that she got hurt, I definitely wanted to hurt her. I mean, her. I definitely wanted to hurt someone, not her. And I was very upset. And I'm gonna have to scratch this, but I was very upset. And there was also someone else involved, and they let her get hurt. And I wanted to hurt them too, because they let her get hurt. And I was not okay with any of it. Boy, was I not okay with any of it. And yeah. I did a little bit of homework, and did a little bit of research. And if I want someone found, I'm gonna find you. And yeah, a lot happened, and I'm just glad she's okay. And I had to leave from her. I had to separate from her, because it became to the point where it was very toxic to the point that somebody would have got hurt. And I did tell her that, somebody would have got hurt. Like, you don't understand, I had to leave. And I don't even know why I had to leave. Just like I don't know why she was part of my future, or why she looked so identical like me as far as I felt. It was because my soul was resonating. My internal being was resonating with who she was, on a vibrational being, on a vibrational frequency that she was. It was matching who I internally am. And that was why, not only do we physically look a little similar, but because we are the same. And and I felt so overprotective for her, because I didn't realize I was really overprotective of myself. Because nobody wants to get hurt, and nobody wants to see their daughter, their brother, their sibling, their person themselves get hurt. And we do self-sabotage. So when we do self-sabotage, we're only hurting ourselves. And imagine if I wanted this person to get hurt, it would be like I was hurting myself. And even though I had anger with her, or upsetness, disappointment, whatever I felt, I then learned it was truly because I felt for her what I felt for myself. because she was actually internally me. However that makes sense. It goes really deep and it's really complicated, and it takes a lot to accept it. Trust me, I had no idea what was going on. Those angel numbers that I was referencing and these synchronicities, like these downloads that I was refreshing, like basically touching up on, it goes way deeper than that on a whole different level. Once you find out that you're a twin flame, if you're, usually it's the divine feminine, myself, I'm divine feminine, a masculine body. It's usually the divine feminine who wakes up more, because the divine feminine is usually typically the one who's a little bit more pure, more sentimental and logical and emotional feeling. And me being a Scorpio, I'm already emotional and I'm logical in my feeling, so it was like a little bit more emphasized being a twin flame going through it. So my emotions were like skyrocketing, and that's only on my behalf. I can't really speak for any other zodiac sign in their behalf, but they do kind of like go hand in hand to what's going to entail later. Me being an emotional Scorpio, and then being a feminine and a masculine body, it balances out a little bit. But from as far as I know, a lot of feminines and feminines bodies who awaken first, they actually get the brunt end of the stick, kind of like me, because I'm an emotional Scorpio water sign and I'm a feminine, so it's kind of like waterworks everywhere. You know, don't go chasing waterfalls. Yeah, ocean, deep, drowning. Whoo, damn, that was deep. Yeah, it's very deep. The spiritual journey and for the feminine is very deep, and the reason why I believe so for the feminine is because the masculine version is supposed to save that person, but ironically the feminine is supposed to save oneself so they could save the masculine. I don't know if anyone's keeping up with that part. I'm probably gonna trash that. So anyways, this turned into me kickstarting my video vlog to me expressing my twin flame. So my twin flame, there were a lot of things going on and some things broke apart. I'm gonna really express it a little bit in details, probably in a different segment or in between segments. So the last but not least, before I continue on to the journey of the twin flame, so I was telling this person how I felt. Like, I was ignoring this person. I was running away from this person. I was running away from all my problems, all my feelings. Not to say that I didn't deal with my problems. I was dealing with all my problems in such a numb state that I was like a robot. Just dealing. No emotions, just dealing. Boom, no, reverse card, you know? Until one day. Yeah, and I was going through that the entire time until it was weird. It was like I was so strong, and then all of a sudden one day in the midday I was weak. Okay, cool. A couple days later I'm strong, you know. Well, I'm you know, have a breakdown, you know, cry a little bit, and I didn't even know why I was crying. I've never cried over someone like this before, you know. I mean, a little cry here and there, but this was like, wow. Don't go chasing waterfalls. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was like, wow. Why do I feel like this? Why am I crying? Like, you're crying right now, right? Like, you know you're crying, right? People are watching you, bro. Like, and so, whatever, have like a breakdown, 5 minutes, right? Go back to, bro, you know, just a robot. Boom. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Whatever. All up in my ego. All up in my masculinity. Just boom. Exercising. Do what I want. Talking to women the way I want. Like, whatever, right? I'm a, you know, player for life, right? And, you know, that was my mindset at that moment in time. I was kind of like, you know, this person F me. It is what it is. I'm going to go on to the next one, right? Wrong. You know, a little time passes, you know, boom, another breakdown. And I didn't understand why. It was like I was going by with my big old mind, my big old ego, and boom, my heart just like, it was literally like, just boom, what the was that? Like, you know, and then boom, I'm on my knees. Why am I on my knees? Why am I crying? Like, get up, fool. Like, what are you crying about, right? And, you know, all right, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, and it got bigger. You know, the problem kept getting bigger, and it was like I just kept avoiding the problem, and I just kept getting up. I just kept getting up. Day in, day out, but it kept growing. And I had no idea. I wasn't talking to this person. I wasn't seeing this person. I had no connection to this person. But it's like I felt like I knew when this person was thinking about me. I felt like I knew when this person was talking about me. Not just that, but when I started thinking about this person, when I started like noticing and I started becoming aware that this wasn't normal, I was having so many, I don't want to call it breakdowns. I was having so many like emotional, you know, burst that it was random. Like, you know, when you're exercising, you're just kind of like, oh my God, I could do this. And then you get kind of emotional, you know, because you're like, I'm pushing myself to the limit. It was similar to that, but I wasn't doing anything. You know, I was in the car. Boom. Why am I crying? Why am I thinking about this person? I wasn't thinking about this person like 5 minutes ago. I'm lying. I was. It was because I was lying. I was. And it's funny because you're trying so hard not to think about this person. You're doing everything in your power, and it's like you're trying to control everything you're thinking about, but subconsciously it's like this person's in the back of your head and you're just thinking about them. Like, I have not one day has gone by that I have not stopped thinking about this person. And we're not talking about like you just think about this person time to time. You are constantly thinking about this person. You could be with someone else. You could be dating someone else. You could be eating with someone else. You could be talking to someone else. And you're literally continuously thinking about this single individual since day one that you've left them. And it hasn't stopped. Trust me, it has not stopped. Sometimes it feels so freaking horrible, but it's funny at the same time, because it's like, well, I'm not in control. You know, because it's funny, a lot of people, you know, they try and be in control of their lives or someone else, and I could accept and I can admit that I am not in control, and I'm proud to say it, because you know who got me on my side? God got me on my side. And you know, that's part of how it works. You know, you got to accept some things. God got me on my side, you know. And the reason why I know this is because as I'm thinking about this person, that's where the angel numbers came into play. They started following me everywhere. And they started following me everywhere. I started seeing this person's name everywhere. I started seeing things that we talked about everywhere. I started seeing similar people that look like this person everywhere. And when my brain said, you know who that looked like? I seen another similar, and this person doesn't even look like someone you could, at least I feel like this person doesn't even look like someone you could similarly look at. Just like your brain's like, hey, go look over there. Oh, go look over there. You know, Mickey Mouse voice. Hey, take a look at this. Like, it's exhausting, right? And it's not until you accept it that you're like, all right, something's going on here. And you know, say for instance, I see someone that looks like her, and then all of a sudden I get closer and I look, it's not her, but your brain was sure. That next person, it was like, and it's like, say for instance, 20 minutes later, it connected to that person, back to that, like connecting the dots. All these little things connected back to that person. Then I started paying attention a little bit more, and I really started writing it down, and I was like, it's kind of weird, right? I know, like, and so I'm like writing this to myself, but like per se, I'm writing it to her, and my idea of her, kind of like how I feel. You know, I'm thinking of her as I'm writing, but how I feel, but it's not to anyone, just writing it and like journaling. I started writing this stuff down. I got a little weird. Trust me. I started connecting the dots. That was very entertaining. And as I started connecting the dots, as people will see, it started to reveal itself to me. I then found out, by connecting the dots and accepting that this person, that I feel something for this person, I told them, she ended up she started to watch all of my Facebook, and I already unfriended her on Instagram and Facebook, but she actually started to she was following me on Instagram. She actually started to follow everything that I was doing. So it would show me that she was watching me. You don't know this, but it would show me that she was watching me. And so I was watching her watch me. It was really weird. And I was like, what the fuck is she doing? Like, and so it was like all of a sudden, like, she tried to stay away from watching me. And then she'd watch me, then stay away, then watch me, then stay away, then watch me. And then I got to the point where it was like right when we separated, she liked one of my posts, And as soon as she liked that one post, my heart just like blew open. And then I tried to contain it. Like, this was way ahead. Like, she looked one post, my heart just blew open, and I tried to contain it, and I was like, I'm lying to myself. I'm gonna lie to myself. Then later on, we ended up talking a little bit. And that's when things got weird. We ended up talking a little bit, and that's when things really got weird, because it really just erupted my feelings inside. And it just erupted this whole big thing of feelings, and I expressed it to her randomly. And somewhere in my heart was like, either do it now or never do it again in your life. You're never gonna see this person again in your life. Do it now. My heart, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. My heart was like, no, do it now. This person could die tomorrow. Do it now. Don't be afraid. Have courage. And that goes hand in hand with anybody. Have the courage to tell people that you love what you feel, what is on your mind, because there may be a day that you could never tell them again. And we were kind of bickering back and forth about some shit. Her ex was watching me too, while she was watching me at this time. And that's kind of how it started too, because I hit him up and I was like, hey, what's up? Like, you got something to say? Like, you know, I forgot what I forgot what I told him, but, you know, I was like, hey, basically, you know, you got something to say? Like, you know, you're watching me pretty close. Like, is there something I can help you with? And we went through this. Well, we didn't go through, like, he was pretty goddamn surprised that I messaged him. I was ready for him to mouth off, and I was ready to mouth off right back. Like, let's do this, baby. Like, I've been waiting for this moment. You know, you don't want to be that person to take that first push. I was waiting, like, motherfucker push, because I'm gonna push back. But that was wrong. It's even wrong for me to say that. You know, I don't want to offend or upset nobody, but I was in my ego at that time. And yeah, he even said I was pretty pissed, because he even said what, like, normally what I say, like, God be with you. Because I told him to, like, you know, God be with you. Like, I hope you found what you're looking for. Like, you know, because he was watching me. She was watching me nonstop. They were both watching me. It was weird. And then he was like, yeah, God bless. You know, you're right about some things, you know, not everything, but you're right. You know, but, you know, I'm not seeing her, you know, for your information, this and that, you know, but she's seen someone else, and if you love her, go after her. And I remember at first, I took a lot of resentment, because it was like, you love her, go after her, and like most people would chase. And I stopped chasing in a way, but I was still chasing. My soul was chasing, but my person was not chasing, because I wasn't a chaser. Like, you know, I don't chase nobody, right? I might jog a little bit, but I ain't chasing nobody, right? And I was like, F it, right? Nope. My soul was like, please, baby, come back. You know? And out of nowhere, and I told her how I felt. Then she said some smart ass stuff, and then I really told her how I felt. It was weird. I couldn't control it, but my heart said it. Do it today, because tomorrow's not promised. And it was a long time ago, but it still resonates to this day. And she ignored me. And but the thing is, she ignored me a lot. She ignored me a lot about at that end. She was like really watching me, and I'm kind of like, you know, I don't even know if I told her, did I? Like, you're watching me, like, there's obviously something special about me. Like, what the fuck? But I ended up telling her how I felt. We had like a transfer of communication, where it was like, you know, I love you, you love me, like, you know, we got each other's back, you know, no matter where we end up. And then all of a sudden, it was just, everything kind of like blew out of proportion, where it was like she didn't care at all. And I took it to heart, and that's what pushed me more, is that she didn't care. And so like my personal person, myself wanted to say, like, just who cares? But I couldn't. I really couldn't. I wasn't in control. I wasn't in control of how I felt. And at that moment in time, it was like I was holding a grenade. And then I had a whole bunch of grenades on my chest, in front of my heart, and they just started blowing up over time simultaneously. And it was like, for some reason, I just kept pulling the pin, pulling them off, and I'm like having shell shock, and I'm still pulling these pins, you know? It was really weird. I don't even know if that makes sense to anybody. It was really weird, because I was expressing myself in ways that it was killing myself. Like, have some dignity, right? It's not like I was like, oh, I'm desperate, take me back. It was kind of like, dude, give me some closure, give me some respect, some matter, you know, some respect. You're not even saying anything. You're saying all this the other day, but now you're saying this. Like, you're mad because I spoke up for you. Like, I had your back. Like, and I straight up, like, basically put this fool in his place, technically, per se, however people want to say it. And you gonna give me some mouth off? Like, and I was mad. Like, you're lucky you're not right here right now. I'll put some powder on my hand. But I took it very personal, and I don't really take things personal, and I did. But it continued because I wanted an answer. And what I mean is I wanted closure. Somewhere I wanted closure. I really didn't care, but somewhere I just couldn't control it. I wanted closure. And you know, this goes hand in hand with any relationship, of course, but this was just like the feelings were overwhelming, that it's like 10 times 10. And it wasn't like I was trying to be toxic. I just needed, like, it was like I desperately needed an answer. Whether it was gonna be like, you're dead to me, I don't care, or like, you know, hey, this is what's really going on, you know, I'm in a relationship, I can't see you, I can't talk to you, I don't want to offend nobody, all right. It was like she started playing a game. Well, I lost, she lost. Turns out we're twin flames. No, I don't know. I don't know her perspective. I just accepted it because all the signs and synchronicities and how I developed and how I started how do you say, how I started interpreting these signs and synchronicities, and I actually started communicating back with them. The only reason I really found out that I was a twin flame is because I literally asked the universe if I was a twin flame. My God, was it a crazy science experiment? It was a crazy science experiment, one heck of an experience, and I got the majority of it on tape. And yeah, here I am. And I'm gonna basically put in detail how that story really happened. In detail, word for word, most likely, to show and set example of how people act and react. Because it's pretty quite entertaining once you get the full like aspect of all of it. And you're like, for someone who's just an ordinary Joe, they're gonna be like, oh, my relationship, whatever, they don't care. But someone who's gonna be in a soulmate or deep spiritual soul tie, especially a soul connection such as a twin flame, which I had no idea what was one, or even would even think to accept, you know, such difference, that there's a thing that exists. Like, geez, I don't know, that sounds kind of bad. You know, for people who've ever been in a soul tie, whether it be a karmic, a soulmate, or from what I know now, a twin flame, it will help people understand things a little bit better. Regardless of whether you believe in religion or spirituality, you know, I want people to understand and be able to adapt and feel towards their feelings with people as well. And so that's why I'm going forth and doing this, you know, in this way, depicting and showing by example and explaining the thought process of what was going on. Because I had no idea, right? And a lot of things happened in between those times that could have been very bad and or very good. And sometimes, regardless of very bad or good, you do have to take that leap of faith, as I did, to tell this person how I felt. Even though it failed terribly with her, I'm in God's good grace right now, baby. And I'm a blessing. I'm a blessing to the world. And a lot of people appreciate me. I'm an inspiration to many, almost to all. And regardless of differences, I don't see no venture and no evil. And I want to do good for the world and humanity, or someone just in general, like a stranger. I gave a guy a ride today. It's funny, I gave a guy a ride today. His car broke down. He was like, I'm driving my sister's car. He spoke nothing but Spanish. He was trying to flag this lady down. I popped out. I was like, hey, you good, bro? He's like, oh yeah, my car just broke down, you know, whatever. And I was like, all right, just making sure you're good, because it looked like you're kind of effing with her. He's like, nah. And I was like, I'll tell you what. I was like, you get in my car, I'll give you a ride, right? Me doing stuff that I do, not thinking, right? He's like, I'm sorry, I don't have a mask. He was like, you're fine, just, you're not sick. I got my mask on, don't worry about it. Had the window open, talked and whatnot. He was stranded, dropped him off. And when I dropped him off, right when I dropped him off, you know, I dropped him off, he got out of the car, and then when I looked to the left, I seen on the car that it said 888 on the license plate, and on the license plate, sorry, I'm looking at the cop. So when I dropped him off on the side of the road, I seen 888 on the license plate, and that's when I knew that I was destined to be there at that time. Like, I'm destined to make this video, and now my battery's dying. Maybe one person's life I'm going to change and they're going to pass the torch. But here I am, so it was a blessing. It was a blessing to meet you. It was a blessing to be part of you. I hope that you're doing better. I hope that you're doing good. I hope that you've matured. And you know, God bless. God bless everyone and anyone who's watching this, who needs help. And to each its own, of course, but try and do the best that you can. Try not to leave people burdened in life, because everyone knows that the world's full of that and it needs a lot of help. And us as individuals can do so to help. So anybody that is actually doing something for a good cause, that would definitely be great. It would definitely be a blessing. So in other words, peace. All right, y'all take care now.